Good morning, everybody. Just want to throw Tacos and Roses episode 3 out there where I take a couple minutes to just keep it real with what's going on in the Bay Area with outreach and yeah, just where we're at, status update, if you will. So, so I feel like I just want to. I'm kind of stuck in a pickle that I there's a lot of people that I'm sure are stuck in the same kind of scenario. And so I just want to address it so that I'm clear with everybody about what I'm doing because it's I kind of feel like a sellout. I'm not going to lie, but I also realize that I'm playing chess and not checkers here. And so anybody that's watched me for any time will understand that I prefer sovereignty over security, and I think that we're being violated on a number of different levels when it comes to that principle, and it's highlighted or illustrated in the whole conversation around masks. You know, like if you want to wear a mask, it's fine. I got no problem with it. By all means, you should protect yourself, but at no point is that my responsibility. And so this whole scare is being used in order to strip people's individual freedoms and liberties. So, that being said, I feel that it's crucial to be on the right side of history. And there's a big part of me that wants to respect all the dues that soldiers have paid the price for prior to me being here. And I just don't want to wear a mask. I got hemmed up again at work. I haven't been wearing a mask, and they called me again yesterday. Not yesterday, it was a few days ago, but was told, people as in the area you were entering said that you weren't wearing a mask, and I gotta ask you to do all the, and so there's a big part of me that's like, no, I'm not going to, and I want to cite religious freedom, and I want to cite all kinds of different things that I think would have some legitimacy. Ultimately, they would take a long time for them to pan out if they even did. There's no guarantee that they would. And so I don't believe that I'm alone in this situation. In fact, to the extent that I think most people, even though they would be scared of the virus or what have you, um, I suspect that there's a silent majority that are simply going along with the rules that are because they work for a corporation that's telling them what to do, and they're worried about losing their job. So they don't want to lose their job. I mean, how are they also going to feed themselves? But at the same time, like if you're reading into scripture, and whether you think that the book of Revelation is actually referring to the mark of the beast now or not is irrelevant to me. It is referring to a time in a system where people will literally not be able to eat or work unless they do something. It doesn't really matter what they do, what the mark is, which everybody's concerned about what it is. The point, I believe, is that there shouldn't be any hindrance or obstruction to us having food and work because that's a God-given right. Like, I'm come from the earth. I am a part of the earth. God gave us the earth. The earth provides food. The food feeds us, and that in itself is work. There should be no bar between that. But we have developed a society where we've got all kinds of fences and barbed wire and boundaries or walls, between these types of things to create leverages of power. So why am I bringing all this up again is because now I'm forced with a practical situation as to what I'm going to do, and I feel like my integrity is being questioned. And so how do I go about this? Well, I can't say no. We always have this sovereign power to say no. There may be consequences to that, but we still can't say no. I could have a gun pointed in my head and they could say, put your name on the dotted line, and I could still say no, even though they blow my brains out. The question is that really the best way to move forward with the principles? And I think at this point, no. And the reason that I say that is because there are people in history that I've looked back on that, and I can't remember names. I need to look this up. Um, it was a black woman in particular. I don't know why I want to say Harriet Tubman. It may have been, but uh, there were people that were involved in the Underground Railroad and or in the Holocaust as well, where people thought that people were working in on all outside looks. You would think that they would be on the side of the empire, for lack of a better term. However, they were just doing that to maintain a position to facilitate the 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 freedom fighters, for lack of a better term, on those as well. I got to come up with a good term. I've been thinking about this, like Star Wars, like the Empire and then the rebels. I feel like that generally kind of lays out our situation, and the rebels being those that are for sovereignty, of course. um, so anyway, so my position in this is like, okay, well, then I'm going to go ahead and wear the mask at work, even though it stings my pride. It's not about my pride, but I am putting this on blast and putting it as a video so that people know that I struggle with this and that this was a big deal to me. And I have no problem with quitting my job. I do believe that God will provide some way, somehow. The question is that where I'm at? Is that's what's necessary right now? And where I'm at right now, and this could change, I'm going to say that it's probably better for me to swallow my pride for the moment. But I even told my boss, like, I'm putting this shit on blast. I'm talking shit all day about how our freedoms are being impinged upon when I'm not at work. And I feel that it's to that much more extent than I need to, because it looks hypocritical, right? Because I'm wearing a mask. Here I am talking about those that wear masks are on the corporate tit, and the fact of the matter is that I'm a slave. Like that's like, I can't quit my job right now and still support myself. That's a reality for a lot of people. But what I am trying to do is create momentum for all of us to build an outreach and to come together on Tacos and Roses, which is just a platform for us to really give the bottom people that are really struggling in our society a leg up to where we can liberate ourselves and teach each other sovereignty. It's better to teach somebody how to fish than to give them a fish, and it's built on that whole concept. That being said, I'm not advocating that Tacos and Roses is like the solution across the board for the whole world. Maybe in general, the idea of like taking care of the people that need it the most, I think can be applied across the board. However, how that's done, I think, in what we're looking for today, is going to look differently depending on where you're at, and everybody has a different job to play, and only you know what that is. And so yeah, it's really got to be a natural outgrowth of people being accountable in their own present circumstances and seeing what they can do to move in the direction of liberation for themselves, and so and that's why I think this is difficult, and there's a lot of people trying to come up with one solution for everybody and push it on everybody else, and I think that that's actually causing some of the problem, and that's why I'm advocating sovereignty, because I think ultimately when we're able to be accountable for our own lives, then we're able to grow, and it looks different for everybody. Like, I can't tell you your truth, but you can be honest about your truth wherever you're at, and that gives you the opportunity to grow, and And if we all come from that type of perspective, then we get to grow together. So anyways, I just wanted to throw this out there. Good morning to everybody. Just tell people where I'm at with what I'm doing with this. You know, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm outdoors. You know, I'm out on these streets trying to put it together, and I'll be coming back to you guys with more updates as these things develop. But I just want to let you know where I'm at on this position, practically speaking, and I assume that there's a lot of people out there that can relate with this situation. So I hope you guys find out what you guys need to do in your particular circumstances, and that we figure out how we can come together to create movement in a direction that we can really start lifting up the people that are struggling in our immediate communities, so that we can all rise. All right, y'all. Have a great day, and I'll get back at you at another time in the future. All right, later.